you'll see that I find out some information that I thought was very fun and lighthearted, and she did not find out.
Yes.
She did not agree it was very fun and lighthearted.
How are you feeling going into your first season as a Real Housewife?
Gosh, it's a mixture of anxiety and excitement. You know, just being very vulnerable can be hard, but it's really exciting.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how you came to be cast, because I know that you're friends with Gina. You came in that way, but tell me about the whole process. It's so fascinating.
Sure. I have been friends with Sutton for a few years
Yeah.
and told her that my family was moving to Orange County from San Diego for my business. And she said, "Oh, my friend Gina needs good friends and she's a realtor. You guys, I'm gonna put you in touch." So I reached out to Gina and we met for coffee and we spent 5 hours together just talking. And I mean, she's just like a ball of fun. So that's how we got to know each other and became fast friends.
I love that. Now, when they said, would you like to sign on to be a Real Housewife? Was there any hesitation there, or were you like, I'm all in?
You know, they asked me a few years ago when we
Mhm.
were living in San Diego, and I said, "Well, obviously I can't. I don't live there." So
Mhm.
when casting contacted me again, I said, "You know what? Let's talk." And it was exciting for me because I had just started this business, which would be a really cool marketing opportunity, and
Mhm.
also just really exciting to maybe I was thinking possibly be the first Asian in Orange County, which
Yeah.
there's never been one. There's never been a Korean housewife across the franchises. So that was really exciting to me. And it seemed like something new and fun to experience.
Oh, I love to hear that. Now, tell me a little bit what your relationship was with the Real Housewives franchise before this. Obviously, you know, Sutton, you're having 5 hour coffee dates with Gina. Had you been, tuning in, or was it something that you were more familiar with just like in real life?
You know, I hadn't really watched Orange County in a while.
Mhm.
It got to be a little, and I was talking with producers about this, a little bit of dark, a little dark, got a little dark. And
Yeah.
so I hadn't really watched it in a while. I've always watched New Jersey and Beverly Hills. Those were always super entertaining to me.
Mhm.
And so when I met Gina and I told her I was going through casting, I was really upfront with her. She said, "You should do your homework."
Mhm.
So I had it on in the background, but I didn't actually sit down and watch because I
Mhm.
was struggling between do I do my homework and learn everything about these women, or do I go in and meet them where they meet me and actually form real relationships? So that's kind of what I tried to do. I mean, I watched snippets here and there, but I tried to just actually make real friendships with these women and not know a lot of their history so that I wouldn't have any prejudgment.
Well, I love that. And I'm excited to see kind of how that initial entrance into the broader group goes. Was that intimidating? Were you excited? Tell me a little bit about joining.
I think coming into any group of women, no matter if it's on Orange County Housewives or just in general, is daunting. You're walking into a group of women that have known each other for 6 years plus. Jen Pedranti was new last season, but she's known Tamara for many years. So I truly was very, very new. So you kind of walk on eggshells a little bit like, I respect you guys. You've been friends for a long time, but here I am. And I would love to be a part of your group of friends. So it was daunting, but anything that's challenging always turns out to be so rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. I would love to hear just, like your quick first impressions of these ladies. I know we're going to get to see the full interactions in just a couple of days, but what did you think of Shannon when you first met her?
Shannon was great.
Mhm.
I first met her. You'll see her. You might have seen the first episode.
Mhm.
And after we wrapped, she had one of the producers come get me and said, "It was so great to meet you. Here's my number. Text me if you need anything." She was a sweetheart, just very warm and
Oh,
welcome.
that's so Shannon. I love that.
Yeah.
What about Tamra?
Tamara, I had watched her many years ago and she looked like a ball of fun. And she was that right from the beginning, just like a ball of fun and energy.
I love that. And then you said Gina was also that way when you first met her. What about
Yeah.
Emily?
Emily, I had met once before,
Mhm.
and she was a little bit more quiet, but always very kind. She was very welcoming. And she was like, "You sure about this?" And I'm like, "Yes." She was great.
Right. That's so funny. What about Jen? I mean, she just went through the same thing that you went through last year.
Jen was a sweetheart right from the beginning, and immediately clicked first episode because I shared that I was adopted and she has an adopted child. So we immediately heartstrings clicked.
I love that. That's a special connection. Now, what about Heather? I know we see that you have problems later on in the season, but what was that first impression like?
Well, I had a first impression with her. We attended the same party at Sutton's house for Christmas. So that wasn't a very good first impression, but a good first impression I had with her at the party when I officially met her for the season. And she was lovely at the party.
Yeah. Well, I know, as I said, you go on to have some problems. We've seen it in the trailer. What is not meshing there? Or tell us a little bit about what we're going to see in terms of that relationship.
I'm not sure what I can say, but I just think you'll see that I find out some information that I thought was very fun and lighthearted, and she did not find out.
Yes.
She did not agree it was very fun and lighthearted. So that becomes a very big focal and tension point for the two of us throughout the entire season.
Well, do you see a path forward with that? Obviously, we don't know what happened yet, but I know everyone is always talking about a path forward. Do you see a path forward for you two?
I think you'll see that I try very hard to move forward and to start fresh. And it maybe doesn't work out in best interest for me, but I try. I try really hard because, again, I am being very respectful to these women who have been together for so long, but also trying to find my footing.
Yeah. What would you say was the biggest challenge of coming into this group where there is so much history and, and knowing a little bit of it, but trying to, like you said, forge your own way and really make these genuine connections?
Oh gosh, the biggest challenge. I mean, I would honestly, a lot of it was challenging, but I think that just that finding your little corner to be in, when they have all of this history and this drama and all of these strong bonds with each other, trying to break into that's really hard. That's really difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm also really excited to see your home life. I mean, we know a little bit about it just from reading about you, but what are you excited to showcase from your personal life?
Gosh, my family is incredible, you'll see. But I think, honestly, what I'm most excited about is this whole journey I'm on about learning my roots and finding my birth mother, being a Korean adoptee. And like I said, being the first Asian American in Orange County. Orange County is made up of a huge Asian population. So it's really cool to represent that.
Yeah. Was there any kind of feeling of like responsibility there too, as you're going in with this kind of momentous new title on you? Or were you just like, you know what, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to represent?
There was a sense of responsibility, and me being an adopted Korean, I don't know everything about my culture. So, it was a lot of responsibility to portray that in the right way. But I think people are very patient with me. And I was hoping to break down some barriers, teach the women a little bit, and also learn myself.
Oh, I love that. Now, you mentioned obviously your adoption story too. We're going to learn more about that throughout the season, but what are you most excited for people to know about, or what do you want to put out there about that the most? What kind of message?
Gosh, how difficult it can be. I always tell people that when you're adopted, and you'll see this, you don't feel like you're, black, white, you're just kind of gray. You're kind of in this middle space. And so, you try to be a part of the Asian community and you're not. You try to be a part of the non-Asian community and you're not. So it's just kind of learning to grow and navigate through society, looking away and feeling away, and a lot of these women are very great and open and listen and learn. And that's really heartwarming. They love hearing my story and helping me with my story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited to see that. I'm also excited to see your business. I know you said that that was kind of a draw for you joining. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to get to see there in your professional life.
Sure. So my husband and I have worked in golf for many years, and I started an alcohol business geared in golf, and it's called Tee Shots because they are like, I don't know if you've played golf, but golf balls.
I'm not a golfer. I'm starting from zero. Yeah.
Okay. Well, golf balls come in like a sleeve, and there's usually 3 golf balls in a small box. And so we have created a golf ball you twist off, and it has a flavored shot inside. And they come in a sleeve of 4, because usually people play in a foursome on the golf course. And so they're called tee shots. So we have 6 flavors, and we're marketing it to, golf courses and resorts. And it's just been really fun to have something of my own to develop, and started it with our best friends last year. And this opportunity came up, and I was like, what a better time to do this.
Oh, that's so fun. My husband would love that. That's so fun.
I have to send you some. Actually, can I send you alcohol? I don't know if I can, but
right. We're breaking all sorts of postal laws there.
I know.
Well, I'm kind of curious too. You're coming in, you've got so many aspects of your life that you were excited to show. Was there anything you were a little bit more nervous to show, or it took a little bit longer for you to open up about?
I went through a pretty tumultuous divorce.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it was scary for me at first. I didn't really want to talk about it as much. I was open to talking a little bit about it, but I didn't want my kids to bring up bad feelings or memories or anything for my kids. But then I came to the realization that what I went through is very relatable for a lot of women, this modern family, this blended family that we have. And I think it's very relatable. It's very common. So for me, talking about it is just something that a lot of people can touch on.
Yeah, well, that's going to be really, really interesting for a lot of people to watch back as they get to know more about you. Is there anything that you feel like you didn't get to showcase enough of on this season that you would love to showcase on another season, or something that you want to tell people ahead of time?
I wish I had been a little bit more myself, meaning a little bit more outspoken, a little bit more outgoing. But again, finding my footing in a group of women that have such a history is hard. I think I find that towards the middle and end of the season, but the beginning I was kind of observing and figuring out my spot. So that's the only thing that is a slight regret, just a slight regret.
Yeah, well, if we go forward with another season, then we would love to see more of that, because I know, at least with Heather, people were saying, at least from the trailer reveal, they're like, wow, Katie seems like she's not intimidated to say what is on her mind. Is that something that is typical of you?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, if my best friend saw the promo, the teaser, and she was like, wow, that is so you. That is perfect. When somebody doesn't want to say something, I always do. And so I think that was pretty spot on.
Well, that's a great trait in a housewife. Is there anything else about your personality where when they asked you to join, you were like, oh, this is going to be great for everyone?
No, I really just went in like, I'm going to experience all of this. I'm going to, just be open-minded to everything and everybody, even when it seems a little daunting. I'm just going to have an open mind for this whole experience.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned that obviously you and Gina were close, you and Jen bonded. Was there anyone that you were surprised with how close you had gotten by the end of the season?
I got really close to Alexis Bellino. And Shannon, which that's something that we all have to navigate.
Yeah.
And both of them make me laugh hysterically. So, being friends with them is easy. They're just a good time. But that surprised me that I am friends with both of them pretty close too.
Yeah, that's a complicated situation between the two of them. How do you kind of navigate both of those friendships together?
It can be difficult at times, but I am going to love them each separately for the relationship I have with them, not their history, and all of us, I feel in the middle of this. And we're not afraid to say, hey, that was not nice, or, we're not afraid to call them out. But like I said, from the beginning, I meet them where they met me, and they've both been kind and welcoming and warm. So that's where we are.
Yeah, and they're receptive to you kind of playing the middle, playing Switzerland, if you will.
I do. Yeah, I think it's hard for everybody.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Situation hard for everybody.
Now, I know you had difficulties with Heather. Was there anyone else that you kind of came up against throughout the season?
I don't think so.
Look at you, peacemaker. Yeah, right.
I really did try to get along with everybody. I really was trying to get to know people for real. So I think that was the only thing that I had.
Nice.
Maybe.
Maybe, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and what are you most excited for people to see as the premiere is kind of coming up? Is there anything or any episode where you're especially like, oh, I can't wait till we get to that one?
Oh, my golf event is
Yeah.
pretty eventful. And I really am excited for people to see my family.
Oh, well, I cannot wait to see more of your story. I've only seen the first episode, but it's a good one. So I think this is going to be a great season.